Hello, how are you today?
How are you?
There we
You
go.
know what? I'm a little mad because I want one of those jerseys or one of those sweaters. Come on now.
You want one of these Vida Baseball shirts?
Well, yeah.
Oh, we're going to get that to you. We're going to get that to you.
I'm not going to ask for a hat because I know you guys don't have my size, and don't even ask me because I know you guys don't have it.
Come on,
funny.
we absolutely have hats for you.
It's funny you say that because I have a big head too, and they gave me a Vida Baseball hat my first day, and I put it on. And it didn't fit. I can't wear it.
What size are you? What size are you?
I'm 7 3/4.
Come on, that's child play next to me.
What do you got? Oh,
8.
boy.
8. My dad's an 8 too.
That's a lid. That's a big lid.
No, that's a big acaso. You know what acaso is?
like a pot, like a big.
Yeah, a big pot where they make the chicharrones and the
Yeah.
carnitas. That's what I need up here, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what? That was my end with well, not my end, but that's how my relationship as Cardinals broadcaster started with Adam Wainwright. Now we're besties because now we're all like about hockey and the Blues. But and one day he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, that's a huge melon you have there." I'm like, you think? She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, if I had $1 for every time somebody said you have a huge melon, so you're very original, Wayno. And he just looks at me like, who is this punk, like talking to me like that? Doesn't he know that I am Adam freaking Wainwright? But that's how I am, guys. And I mean, thank you guys for having me. Thank you to Jesus, who I met while he was here with the Cardinals. And about time. That's all I'm gonna say. About.
I know it is about time. And Jesus he needed to apologize. We had a lot of scheduling going on today, and so he's over picking up Mr. Harim. So who I know is someone you idolized and you have worked with.
Okay, if you don't mind, what's your name? The guy with the glasses.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Andy.
And Andy
Martinez.
Okay, Andy Martinez. So who's coming in the studio, Andy?
Jaime Harin.
Who?
From the Dodgers, Jaime Harin, a broadcaster. You might have heard of him.
His name is Jaime Harin.
Harin. Thank you. When baseball came out this year with the pronunciation guide, we spent a lot of time going through that. And I just cannot, I can't do the roll. I can't roll it off. I just can't do it. And it hurts. It hurts. I apologize that I can't do it. And my kids make fun of me for this. They're like, how come you can't do that? And I'm like, I just can't do it.
No, don't worry about it. My son, he cannot roll the R's. My daughter, she can roll the R's. And she likes it. Every time she has tequila, she's like, arriba, arriba. but my son, he's like, arriba, arriba. I'm like, you're such a white Mexican, man. But right. And I say that with much respect.
Well, Polo, when we have guests on our show, one of the things we like to do is we like to fill out your baseball card. So I'm going to fire out a few questions real quick before we get into life as a Spanish broadcaster for the St. Louis Cardinals. All right, your hometown.
Tijuana, Mexico. Proudly Tijuanense.
I was just by your neighborhood last week. I was in San Diego on vacation.
My neighborhood. That is my neighborhood. I love San Diego. Some people say, what's the best part of San Diego? Tijuana.
Yeah.
That's what people say sometimes. What's the best part of San Diego? Tijuana. So, yes.
All right, so here we go. Oh, that's a good one. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Well, that's my favorite player, period, MLB player, is Fernando Valenzuela. That's it. That's why I am who I am. And if you know a little bit about my story, he not only had an impact on me as a child, born and raised in Tijuana, Mexico, with a family that is nothing but, by the way, this is right here, the Padres media guide is right next to my desk. My family, they're all Padre fans. But when I was 6 years old, 1981, you do the math and you'll know how old I am. That's when Fernando came about. And when Fernando happened, it was crazy. And for me, little Mexican kid playing baseball up in El Cerro or anywhere else, I'm like, hey, that guy, he looks like me. He speaks like me. He speaks to me. I understand what he's saying. I want to be like that guy. And that's why when I fell in love with Fernando, I was in love with baseball already. But that's when I fell in love with Fernando. And then after Fernando came my love for the Dodgers. So Fernando Valenzuela, no doubt.
because that led into my next question. It was, why do you love baseball?
It's a family thing. It's a family thing. Growing up in Tijuana again, and my mom doesn't like it when I say this, but it's true. And I was talking to her this morning on the phone. We didn't go to church every week. We didn't go to church every Sunday like a lot of families do. But we did go to the baseball fields with my dad every week, every Sunday, the whole family, my 4 sisters, myself, my mom, my dad. Then later when my brother was born, early morning Sundays, it was not, hey, hurry up, let's go to church. I like to say we went to the church of baseball, Los Campos, allá, the fields up in Otay Mesa in Tijuana, back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And even before that, all of the 80s. Back then, kids, there was a thing called station wagons. If you don't know what a station wagon is,
yeah.
Google it, just like you don't know what the rotary phone is. Google those things.
What kind of a station wagon was it?
It was a Ford, a huge Ford green. My dad was, I don't know why, and then he had that green one, and then he will buy another one, another green one, and another green one. And then one time he had one.
I don't know what our dads were doing with that. And they always buy the same ugly wood paneled station wagons.
Then,
repeat.
Yeah, no, but then he turned funky on us. He bought a red one with woody, like wood panels on the
the wood panels.
So it was a woody. So he had that. So him and my dad, him and my mom would be in the front, my 4 sisters in the back and in the middle seat. Back then there was no seat belts, and
sure.
I'll be in the back because those things will open up and they'll have a couple seats. So I'll be sitting on one side, and then on the other side, the bag with the bats, the baseballs, the helmets, the extra gloves, the scorebook, the chalk, the chalk thing with the stick and the jalapeno, the big old cans of cheese.
Yeah.
So we will have those, wash them, make holes at the bottom, and you hit them like that, and that's the way you do the chalk. All of a sudden it got really dark in here, but I don't know if you guys can see me. But
we can see you good.
So that's kind of how my love for baseball started. Every Sunday morning from basically being born until I was 12, 13 when my dad kind of stopped playing a little bit. That's how my love for baseball started, and it turned into a career. Go figure.
Really quickly, Mike, we got a couple comments from fans. Jesus Valdez on Facebook says, Polo, have you ever been to a Toros de Tijuana game?
Oh my God, of course I have. Actually, one year I did my first ever play-by-play gig was with the Águilas de Mexicali. Las Águilas de Mexicali winter ball. And those games are insane, but there is nothing like a Toros that in Mexico anyway, or Mexico, I don't like to say Mexico. In Mexico, there is nothing like a Toros de Tijuana game. I'm sorry, and we just went to Monterrey and had a blast there, but there is nothing. The game, the party starts before the game starts, like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it ends until the last drop of cerveza is consumed. And that's how we do it in Tijuana. We go hard for everything, good and bad. We go hard in TJ. So yes, to answer the question, see.
Joshua on Facebook says, best part of the station wagons was the back seat that faced backwards. I always was wondering what the road sign said.
Yes.
And Rebecca on Facebook wants to know, where's Benji?
Benji, he's coming somewhere. It's starting to be one of those things where if they see him, hey, where's Polo? If they see me, where's Benji? So it's kind of interesting that I'm kind of the de facto fourth Molina brother, the one without the ring. but I'm hopefully getting one soon. And guys, I don't know if you know this, there's a few things that we can talk about the whole time, and as you can tell, I'm happy to be talking. That's what I pay me for. Not you guys. Well, I'm getting a shirt from you guys, but
and a big hat.
Well, you know what? I was going to say I'd give my daughter the hat, but she suffers from the same illness, big head. This cool stuff here. Look at this. First time ever the Cardinals have done this. All right?
A pocket calendar?
En español.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It's all in Spanish, and of course, the superstars right
There you are.
That's awesome.
And this day, Fiesta Cardenales. There you go.
Uh-huh.
See, I know how to work the camera. That's glare. This is no glare. So September 15th, Fiesta Cardenales special theme ticket. No, it's not Star Wars. No, it's not Elvis or Pride Day. It's the Benji Molina and Polo Ascencio duo bobblehead. So if you want to see
Wow.
Benji,
Wow.
if you want to see Benji Molina and Polo Ascencio together all the time, buy your ticket. And come to see him.
We're driving down.
We got to go. So,
We're
hey,
driving down.
did you?
Hey guys, seriously, why have you guys not been here?
We're going to come down.
Yeah,
We're going to bring
we
the
need
show
to.
there.
All right.
So, did you have to pose for that bobblehead?
Well, the way
Were
they
you
do
just
it
sitting
with-
there for 3 hours?
No, the way they do it with bobbleheads, they basically take a picture and then the face they do with computerized. And I didn't ask for anything special to be, because a lot of players say, hey, I want this or I want that or I don't like this, like the Juan Soto bobblehead. I don't know if you guys saw the story.
Yeah.
That this year, the bobblehead was not smiling. He's like, no. I want to smile because I'm always smiling. So There's players that ask for little things like that. So one thing that I asked for, which I always have with me, is not that I was ready, just he's always with me. I asked them to put this radio on the bobblehead. See this radio? Something that looks like this broken radio. Okay? This radio, guys, it's been with me for at least, let's see, for at least 12 years. This is the radio that I used to listen Vin Scully and Jaime Jarrin, when possible, on the radio when I was a custodian cleaning offices. Kind of like the office you guys have right now. Let's just pretend that the guy who cleans your office is going to be the next broadcaster for the Cardinals. That was me. So when I'm cleaning your office, I'm listening to Jaime, I'm listening to Vin, and all kinds of different sports on this radio. So when I had my first big chance to do something with the Dodgers for time on a cable, I put away my radio. I just put away my stuff and all that. And then when I got this gig, this amazing job, I don't remember what I was looking for in my closet, and I see it there. So I said, you know what, you're coming with me. So this is a reminder that a quote that I just came up with, and I don't know if anybody else had it before, but if you have heard this before, let me know. If not, I'm gonna copyright this. This is a reminder of, it doesn't matter where you come from. Don't let where you come from stop you from where you want to get to. This is
That's
right
awesome.
Here. All right.
That's really awesome.
So this is why, and the best part, guys, about this radio, it still works. Well, right now it has no batteries, but man, I should have checked for batteries. It doesn't have the batteries, but it still works. And you know how radio works and TV and all that stuff. Oh, there you go. That's my radio. See?
And so when you were working, that's how you listened to Jaime Jarrin and Vin Scully.
Yeah, right now that's why you're listening. That's to my radio. So this radio's been with me, trying to catch a station here. There you go. Anyway, so that's my radio. There you go. I love that. So one day I was here, and does it work still? So what I did is, when we get to the stadium, we do interviews for the pregame show, and so I did an interview, and then we come in here, and you know what? Obviously during the pregame, we play the recording, and we are just here listening or sitting down taking notes. So I turned it on. So I was listening to myself on this radio calling a baseball game. Wow. I mean, if that is not mind-blowing, if that's not even bigger than like one of those edibles that kids like to eat nowadays that just like goes, makes your mind go places, this is what's up, guys.
All right, hey, Polo, so I wrote down, I think I may have butchered it a little bit, but don't let where you come from stop from where you want to go.
Exactly.
So I wrote that down. That's going to be that's our quote of the day. But I think for people who don't know your story, how did you get from cleaning offices to what you do now? Like, what happened there?
What time is Jaime coming in?
He's coming in about noon. We can go.
Okay.
We have the time. If you do.
No, and he's a big part of the story, as you can imagine, because I grew up in Tijuana, Mexico, and in a baseball family. Moved to Santa Barbara when I married my wife, Maribel. Still married. How many years now? 20. It's gonna be 23. This 24, I think. 24. Yes. Wow.
Congrats.
Well, thank you. It's up and down. Like any relationship, there's good days, there's bad days, but don't let the bad days outnumber the good days, because then why are you even there? You're hurting yourself. You're hurting other people. Any relationship, work, obviously, life, family, husband, wife, wife, whatever you go. I mean, I'm all for it. So I was about 20 when I got to America, to the United States, from Tijuana. And I started working with her dad as a carpet cleaner. After a few years of working with Mr. Castro, Ramon, she made me apply for a job that I didn't want to apply, as a custodian for the Santa Barbara County Education Office. She's like, apply for it. I'm like, yeah, tomorrow. She's like, no, we're going to go get the application right now. You're going to apply for it and you're going to go. I'm like, okay. I didn't want to. I'm like, sometimes we Mexicans like to procrastinate, and we're kind of famous for that. And that tomorrow was never going to come. I said, mañana vamos. Don't worry about it. We'll do it tomorrow. She's like, no, we're going to go right now. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went, I got it. She filled it up. And I'm like, all right, well, I got it. Let's go. She's like, no. You need to fill it up right now. Okay. So she did everything because she knew I was not going to do it. So I get out of the car. I put it in. A couple months later, they gave me that job, which was a really good job. I mean, sometimes, believe me, that job made good money. People at the county office, it's a good job. Security, insurance, and 401k and all that. So after being there for a while, life just took different turns. And I always like to tell the story where I was the listener on the radio. I was the listener listening to you guys, listening to radio people talking about sports. And while I was a custodian, on my radio, I would listen to a bunch of nothing but sports, not even music. And then it was this local show in Santa Barbara where I still live. I will call once in a while to talk about baseball and things that they didn't talk. We're Latinos. We're mostly a Mexican community there. Soccer, that's what it is. Football, football and boxing. And that's what they would talk about. And sometimes people think that because we're on this side of the camera or the radio or the microphone, we know everything, and we don't. I mean, we just go with the flow sometimes, and we like to learn and just keep ourselves informed to inform other people. And those guys didn't talk about baseball at all. So I would call and talk about baseball. And one day they're like, no, you know what? When you're done, we want to talk to you. I'm like, oh, they're going to tell me not to call, because sometimes the calls will be like 5-10 minutes. And those guys will be quiet, and I'm like, hey, me oyen, me escuchan? And they'll be like, yeah, we'll listen. Okay. Obviously, all this is in Spanish. And after a while, they're like, hey, we want you to call, but to be part of the show now. It's like if you guys tell me, hey, Polo, you're not going to be a guest. We want you to have a segment every week. Okay.
Done.
So
I'm done.
Yeah.
We're ready for that. Book it.
Are you listening, Jesus?
Book it.
I'm like Manny Machado. I'm gonna be like this.
There you go.
So what happened is, I will hide in an office, like let's say like this one. By the way, I'm right now in my booth. I'm at the stadium. The game's starting in about 45 minutes. It's a little rainy, but it's gonna start, I guess. So I will hide and call, right? And as soon as I hang up, I go back to the vacuum, back to cleaning. Everything a janitor does for you guys. The vacuuming, the dusting, the bathroom, the toilet paper, all that stuff. So after a while from doing that, an opportunity came to be part of a local station. And when I mean local station, I mean public station, a sports guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I just parlayed that into getting into a public access TV show. To me, it was the best TV show ever, even though it was done in a little room with the green screen in the back, and I couldn't understand how green screen worked. Like you see the weather people, and I'm like, okay. But then you know how they do it. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Well, I did that for a little bit. And at the same time, I started writing for a website for baseball. And it was based out of Mexico City. Well, after a little bit, a friend of mine, his name's Chris, that works at the county. He still works at the county office. And he told me one day, hey, Polo, the Dodgers are having a Spanish website. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Because back then, we're talking about 2006, maybe, 5 or 6. The internet, it was big, but it's not what it is today. So I was not too much into the internet, or I didn't really get into it. So he told me, like, no, you go to the website. I was like, okay. So that's when I actually started getting familiar with the internet and computers and things. So after reading about it, he's like, why don't you call somebody and send them some of your stuff? It's pretty good. I'm like, nah, who am I? I'm a custodian. Seriously, and I'm not trying to be humble or like, oh, look at that guy, pobrecito. No. I don't like anybody to think that. It was just like who am I? No. I mean, to write for the Dodgers, that's crazy. You need to have a diploma. And here you are thinking all this stuff that people need, and in your head, you block yourself sometimes thinking that you're not good enough. And so I did. I called. And then they put me with Jorge Martin, who used to be the director of publications. And I told him, hey, Mr. Martin, my name is Polo Ascencio. I'm a writer. I would like to send you stuff. See what you think. And he told me, you know what? We already have people writing, but thank you so much. And send me something. He said, send me something. Wow, okay. So I sent an article to him, and obviously I overdid it. Something that could have been 500 words, I made it 1,500. It was kind of like a book.
And what was the article about?
The article was about the renovation of Dodger Stadium. So I'm like, hey, so Dodgers are renovating the stadium and blah, 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 blah. I talked about everything that you can think of, the seats, where to put the trophies and the organ. It was just like a description of everything. But then again, I wasn't there, so I didn't see it, right? I was just like imagining things. And he told me, it's kind of long. I don't know. I don't really like this one, but thanks for your interest. Okay. At the same time, I'm the custodian. Again, all this, I'm the custodian. I'm writing for the Mexico thing, for the Mexican, I want to say, for the Spanish website from Mexico. And I'm also doing my radio thing, and I'm doing the public access TV. Again, all that together. And this was 2006. And it was the World Baseball Classic, the very first World Baseball Classic. Mm-hmm. And I decided I want to go to the World Baseball Classic. I don't want to buy tickets. I'm going to have to drive to Arizona, Anaheim, San Diego. I'm a custodian. Yes, I do make some good money, but I don't want to buy tickets. How can I not buy tickets? Of course, I created my own media company. So I made my own media company with logos and everything. And I sent my application to MLB Diamond events or whatever they're called, platinum events. I'm like, here goes nothing. And then a couple of weeks later, Mr. Ascencio, we got your request. You have been approved to get your credentials to cover the World Baseball Classic. Wow. And I'm like, yeah. I dab before dabbing now.
He was dabbing.
I did a jarabe tapatio, I was so happy. And in essence, I always, I created that media company, but I was going to be reporting to the radio show, and I was going to be writing for that website, right? But I just took it upon myself, and I did it, so I got that. And while covering the World Baseball Classic, I had a chance to first take a picture with Fernando Valenzuela when he was the coach for the Mexican team. I just went up to him, hey, Fernando, can I take a picture? And he was just, I don't know if you know Fernando, but he's a very nice person, very nice guy. But at first, he's a little like
reserved,
hesitant, extremely reserved. But he did. He took a picture with me. And I was like, whoa, okay, I took a picture of Fernando. So that World Baseball Classic ends and all that stuff.
Do you still have that picture?
It is somewhere on my computer, yes. I need to print it. I was looking at it the other day. So with the World Baseball Classic credentials, you can get to some spring training games. So I came back home. The World Baseball Classic ends, the Dodgers and the Angels are playing each other for the Freeway Series right before the season for spring training. So I go to Anaheim thinking, if they don't let me in with my credentials, I told my wife, no, this is going to let me in, because she knew that if I was going to buy a ticket, she's like, well, you're going to spend $30, $40 to go to a spring training game? No, it's crazy. So I showed up with my credential. I'm like, no, I'm not. I was kind of lying to her. But I just went in with my backpack, showed my thing. They let me in. Okay, I'm in. So I'm on the field at Anaheim Stadium. And I hope I don't get anybody in trouble. And I am on the field, and, you know, Dodgers are there, Angels are there. To me, this is the first real time that I have that chance, right? That chance of being so close to the teams and so freely, because it's spring training, so it's a little more freedom for people to do interviews and things like that. And I look at the Dodgers side, on the first base side dugout, and there's Fernando talking to Eric Karros and Rick Sutcliffe. I believe Sutcliffe was there to do the game for ESPN or something like that, and Karros, you know, he's Eric Karros. So after they were done, I mean, he has a beautiful head of hair. I'm not gonna lie, I envy him. Not his home runs or anything, his hair. So I go up to Fernando after he's done talking. Hey, Mr. Señor Valenzuela, you know, my Spanish again. My name is Polo Ascencio, and I write, you know, for this website. And, you know, the 25th anniversary of Fernando Mania is coming up this year, and I would like to write something about you. Can you give me a few quotes? And he said, no, I don't have time right now. And I'm like, okay. I was happy because I had talked to my hero again. As I turn around to walk away, he says, 5 minutes, 5 minutos. Shoosh. I did the V line. I went back and we start talking. So I go home, I write my article with his quotes, and I send it back to Jorge Martin. I'm like, hey, look, let's see if you like this one. This one was a little more me, a little more my personality, with Fernando's quotes, with the great accomplishment of the 25th anniversary of Fernando Mania. So when I send it to Jorge, he replies back. And again, I never met this guy. I never met Jorge Martin, not Harin I have, but not Martin back then. And his reply on email is like, did you talk to Fernando? Did you really talk to Fernando? Because I've worked here for years, and he doesn't really like to talk to me.
He's questioning the validity of the quotes.
He is, yes. And I told him, I have the recording. I can send you the recording. I can meet you. I can give you the recording. You can use them if you want. This is me. This is Fernando. So that's how I started writing for the Dodgers. That's how he said, okay, you're good. You're in. There was no
That's
money,
amazing.
but there was tickets. He's like, we don't have money, but I can give you tickets. I'm like, sure. I'm a Dodger fan. I like tickets, and my tickets were like field level. It was crazy the first time we did that. So that's how I got into the Dodgers. I mean, the story goes on and on and on to the point where later I started working for the Dodgers as a producer reporter. Again, I basically went from being the custodian and the local sports guy for my local Univision channel, to being just a custodian again, to being a producer reporter for Time Warner Cable for the Dodgers, where I worked for, I think it was like 6 or 7 years. And that's where I met Jaime, that's where I met Fernando, that's where I grew a bunch of relationship with different people that at the end have helped me get here. In 2014, Time Warner Cable decided to let go a bunch of people, including myself. And but I didn't want to let go. You know, you think you can. I've done so good. People say they like me. Somebody's gonna call me, but nobody did. And then one day, I decide to go to lunch with a friend that invites me to have lunch in LA. And after lunch, she's like, "Why don't you come to the stadium?" I'm like, no, I don't want to go to the stadium. I don't want anybody to feel pity for me. They're gonna be asking me, what are you doing? I'm gonna be nothing. I'm back to cleaning carpets with my father-in-law because, I couldn't find a job. And because let's be honest, I had no diploma, no qualification. So now it's like, sheesh, even to be a custodian now you need a diploma. And I just, the place that I used to work for, they were filled, and so I was basically back to cleaning carpets. So after this lunch, he convinced me to go. So I'm okay, I'll go to the stadium. So I went to the stadium, and again, people know you, they're familiar with you, they let you in. They're like, hey, yeah, come in, don't worry about it. Or they don't even ask you for credentials, they just assume you're there because you've been there for so long. And while I'm in there, I'm in one of the booths. There's empty at the end of the row, the booths row there in the Dodger Stadium. And at that time, the VP of marketing and broadcasting comes into the booth, kind of like upset because nobody told him that the stats guy for the Spanish side of the broadcast was going to take a month off to go work for the Little League World Series, right? And I'm sitting there talking to somebody, and this guy by the name of his name is Eric Braverman, Mr. Jarrin knows him very well, because he's still there. He's telling this guy next to me, oh, you know what? I forgot. I guess I didn't see it. Now we're in a pickle. I'm like, what are you looking for? Like, well, somebody to do. I'm like, I can do it. He's like, oh, can you polo really? I'm like, well, yeah, I have nothing else to do. So from getting an invite to go to lunch, from my friend telling me come to the stadium, me saying I don't want to go, I don't want people to feel sorry for me, to now I have a 1 month job gig at Dodger Stadium right behind Jaime Jarrin. So it's like, okay, I'm in again, I'm back at it. And I did such a good job that they hired me for the next season for the whole year. So that's how it goes. And then in 2014, I was in Mexicali calling games, like I said, which, by the way, I was invited because a post on Facebook from my friend, mi amigo, Pedro Gutierrez, who does Padres broadcast now, with Eduardo Ortega, another legend, future Hall of Famer, no doubt, Eduardo. And so Pedro, who I've known for years in Tijuana because he's friends with my brother, and now he's working with the Padres and doing different things, he puts on Facebook, oh, this winter, I'm so happy that I'm going to go back to call games for Mexicali, blah, 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 kind of like showing up what he's doing. So my message on his board was, hey, if you need somebody, si necesitas a alguien, call me. If you need somebody, give me a call. I'm ready. And ha, 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 the good old ha, ha, ha. So it's good. And so ha, ha, ha turned into, are you serious? You really want to do this? I'm like, well, if you can help me get there, I would love to. I've never done it. So
there was no ha 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 there.
There was no ha ha ha. It was like, oh, holy crap. Okay, this is getting real now. So he invited, he spoke for me with people from the team and the TV stations, and they hired me to do that one season of baseball. So, it goes back to like Dodger Stadium, this guy that I knew from before, people that know that I've been working hard to get to a point. And then when I was in Mexicali, and I'm gonna tell you guys the story because he's coming up next, and he heard the story before. It was around December. Mexicali is a very cool place, but it can get very lonely very quick. It's cold when it's cold, and it's hot when it's hot, kind of like Saint Louis or Texas. When it's cold, watch out. When it's hot, holy smokes, where's the la limonada? It's
You're
hot.
right.
And so one day I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be here, man. I miss my family. I need to go back home and figure things out with my wife and my kids, and I don't want to be here anymore. And I'm just sitting there in this room that I used to rent from this old lady. Her name is Carmen. And I just said to myself and to the universe, look, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, as I'm telling you right now, this is me. I'm like, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't think I should be here. I need to go home and figure things out, get me like a real job and just forget about this. But if you think that this is for me, I need a sign. Send me a sign. I was setting up myself to get no sign and said, okay, you see, you didn't send me anything. Now I can go in peace. Well, after 3 minutes of me talking to somebody, the universe, I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't want to offend anybody. I get a text, a very well-written text, just like the person you're gonna talk to next. It said in Spanish, Dear Polito, call me Polito, or Polo Polo, or Polo Norte. and I don't mind it. When a Hall of Fame gives you a nickname, you take it. And dear Polo, last night I was watching TV here at home in LA. Remember, this is during winter. There's no MLB. Here in LA during winter, I was watching TV, flipping the channels, and I came across a baseball game. And it was, Mexican winter ball. I started looking, watching. I love baseball. Then I started listening to this voice calling the game. This is all in a text. I have the picture to prove it. I hear this voice. I know this voice, but this voice is different. This voice is just nice. It goes up when it needs to go up. It goes down when it needs to go down. Who is this guy? I couldn't figure it out. But then the announcer said his name, and he said his name was Polo Ascencio. And he said, "Oh, I know Polo. I know him. That's our Polo. That's the Polo from the Dodgers." And then he just went on to tell me how good I was, how much he just said, "You are good at this. Don't ever give up. I know that sometimes things are not the way we want them to be, but don't ever give up. Keep going. You are meant to do this somewhere, somehow. If you need my help, let me know. I will do my best to help you get to where you want to get." So after me speaking to the universe, 5 minutes later, seriously guys, 5 minutes later, I get this text from the one and only Jaime Jarrin, who's just behind you. I see him walking around, taking pictures and all that stuff with Jesus. So what do? You're asking for a sign. All of a sudden, you guys, there he is. Look at him.
Oh yeah, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah. A legend. That guy is so elegant. Not Jesus, he's not. But
Agreed.
Jaime. Oh my God, Jaime. He smells good. He looks good. He's awesome. You gotta get seriously. He's just great. He's a great person. I mean, he's an amazing storyteller, but he's an even better person. In that, it's crazy. But anyway, so he does that. So I stick it. I'm like, okay, I'm a stick, and that helped me as an experience. And then a couple years later, again, things happen here and there. And it was 16. Again, I was basically out of baseball. And trying to hold on. Doing different things for the Dodgers, like hosting festivals and just being at the stadium, right? So again, remember the name Eduardo Ortega. So I get a text from Eduardo Ortega like in June of 2016 to tell me that the Cardinals are thinking on doing a couple games, Spanish games, or they're looking for somebody to do games this season. If you are interested, let me know. A friend of mine I was having lunch with, he told me, this is a text from Eduardo Ortega, the Padres broadcaster. And so he sends me that text, and I'm like, Lalo, of course I want to do it. Just get me in touch. He's like, this is the number, this is the email, that's on you now. From here on out, you figure it out. Good luck. He always ends with, good luck, Polito. Good luck. That's the great Eduardo Ortega. So I called the number, I emailed, and oh, by the way, he was having lunch with Jesus Ortiz. That's why, Jesus is part of this family, part of my story. I don't know. I need to ask him I'm thinking of Andy Garcia to play him in my movie, but I don't know, man. It might be Carlos Mencia. That's the dead ringer for Jesus. Carlos Mencia is gonna be Jesus Ortiz in the Polo Ascencio movie, and so I talked. I sent the email, the message, the number, whatever, to the person. His name is Kyle Garcia. He used to be part of the Que Buena here in St. Louis. And I talked to Kyle, and we connected. He liked me. And at the end, he is the one who picked me. Even after a few guys that are actually established MLB broadcasters wanted to be part of this with the Cardinals. Now, mind you guys, when you think about the Cardinals, seriously, it's a historic franchise. Yeah. You think about, okay, they are doing Spanish. Me, growing up in Tijuana, listening to Spanish with Mario Thomas, with Eduardo Ortega from the Padres Tijuana, and then LA with Jaime, with Rene Cárdenas, with Pepe Íñiguez and Fernando. So to me, it was just natural to think that all the teams had Spanish. But then when they tell me, like, no, the Cardinals have never done Spanish baseball. So you are doing this, and you are going to be the first one ever that's when I got nervous. That I was gonna forever and ever. I don't care who you are, where you go, how long this world exists. Polo Ascencio is the first ever voice, la voz en español de los 11 veces campeones del mundo Cardenales de San Luis. So you go from a little kid calling his first baseball game in his head when he was a bad boy with his dad, which is, I'm pretty sure a lot of broadcasters can say that, but then the ups and downs of life, losing people that I loved and cherished, and gaining people and losing more and gaining more. It's just crazy, guys. Somebody told me, do you get tired of telling everybody the story? I'm like, why? Why would I get tired?
It's an awesome story.
It is an awesome story. Thank you so much. And I didn't believe it was awesome until I listened to my story by myself. Like one guy told me once, hey Polo, have you told your story to yourself? I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, like you say it all the time to different people, but have you told people? Have you sat down and say, hey Polo, this is a story I want you to hear? So I did it, kind of like the way I do it right now to you guys, because it's different to tell you, and as you can tell, I like to joke around and make it interesting, because the longer it gets, some people might change the channel or whatever.
Right.
But it's like baseball, like the way we do baseball here, Benji, and I don't know if you guys listen, but if you haven't, please do so. We do it different. We respect the game, because I always say there's nothing or nobody more important than baseball. Players come and go. Babe Ruth came and gone. Fernando came, gone. Yadi, he's here. He's going to be gone. But the baseball is always going to be here. The stitches are going to be the same. The ball is going to be wide. The label is going to be there. So nothing more important than that. But at the same time, we need to keep the fans entertained, especially when we're fighting with Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, texting. You need to keep those fans engaged, and that's what Benji and I do. And seriously, the more I hear our calls, the more I think that even though we've only been doing this, started with 2 games this season, we were scheduled to do 53, but yesterday I got good news, and it sounds like we're gonna do at least 10 more, up to maybe 14 plus if we make the playoffs. So this could be like a good, if everything goes well, it could be a 90 game season for the Spanish broadcaster for the Cardinals. So guys, again, don't let where you come from stop you from where you want to go.
Okay, so awesome. that's our quote right here. We have some comments. We want to get a few comments in.
Sure. Hey,
I'd love to bring Mr. Harin in right now. He's getting a little bit of an education on La Vida Baseball. So I'm keeping an eye on him in the background here.
He gets tell Jesus to stop bothering Mr.
I know he's
stop asking him for autographs and pictures, and get him to the seat right now.
Hey, is your could you turn your laptop around? Can we see where I just kind of want everyone to be able to see what you get to see on a daily basis.
But right now, as you can see, we have the tarp, but this is what's up. That's the tarp.
I tell people this all the time. Busch Stadium is one of the most beautiful parks in baseball. The views are so awesome.
And just to put this into perspective now, so you went from a custodian to this is your office.
Yes.
That's incredible.
That is unbelievable.
Yes.
Do you pinch yourself on the daily?
I don't, because I need to protect myself. I don't like to hurt myself. but I do pinch other people. That's for sure.
And your wife helped push you, and I hope that's every day. There's a thank you on the other end of that, where you're like,
no. I tell her, and she still thinks that. Again, guys, hopefully one day we get to meet and chit chat. Well, not like this, but for real. But this is how I am. And Jaime's going to tell you this is how I am. Jesus is going to tell you this is how I am. I mean, I've always been like this, happy or sad. I've always been at least I try to be upbeat about life, because, dude, it's just life. I mean, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be.
Did we hear that Polo
difficult.
wants to say hi?
All right, hey, so we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We have a special surprise for you.
Hey, I
So
can see him. There's no surprise.
Stay right
There's
there.
only
Stay
one
right
person.
there. I'm going to
There's
get
only
out
one
of here,
person.
and I'm going to let you two talk. So let me get out of the way.
All right.
Let me unplug. Let me get that here. Let me get some headphones back on. Hello, sir.
How are you, sir?
How are you?
Hi, Harry.
A pleasure.
Andrés Martínez. Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Thank you.
So this was Polo's quote of the day: "Is don't let where you come from stop you from where you want to go." So he just showed us his office, which was quite away from being a custodian. So he's in the booth right now, but I know he wanted to say hello to you. I'm gonna get out of here. Let him do so. Try to do it as quickly as possible without being rude.
Siéntese ahí. Hello?
¿Estamos en comerciales o qué está pasando aquí?
Are we ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready. We're all
I
ready.
can hardly hear him.
Maestro de maestros, ¿sí me escucha?
Hola.
Ah, bueno.
¿Hablo
ahorita
con
que nos
Polo
digan los-
o con hablo con Polo o con Dan Zimmer?
No.
¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, maestro. ¿Y usted cómo está?
Bien. ¿Dónde está? ¿En San Luis?
En San Luis, aquí en la cabina ya, me quedé
¿Qué
aquí.
pasó? Dijo que va a pasar por Dodger Stadium la semana pasada y nunca apareció.
No, me quedé aquí en San Luis hasta fin de mes.
¿Oh, sí?
Ya que pase el lunes me regreso a casa, entonces si hay oportunidad, si andan por ahí, lo voy a ir a visitar.
Seguro. Qué bueno. ¿Todo bien?
Todo muy bien, maestro. Todo muy bien, el equipo está ganando, así que
Pues sí,
no me
sí,
quejo.
así veo.
Sí, les digo ahí que nos van a aumentar a 14 juegos más.
Qué bueno.
Oh, wow.
La
Good.
campaña.
Fantástico. No
14
se
more
queje,
games.
no se queje, les ayudamos ganándoles 3 de 4 a los cerveceros.
No, y luego nos ayudaron dejándonos barrerlos, que es lo mejor todavía.
Well, Polo, you and I have talked many times of what Don Jaime means to us, and I know you've shared your stories, and I tell him every time. I mean, where would you be without Jaime Jarrin opening the door and then also lending you his hand?
You know, it's like I tell him and I tell people. It's like when I used to greet people into Dodger Stadium, his house, his home, his throne, su trono, como dice Don Jaime, and people like, oh, hey, I used to introduce Jaime like this. Hey, everybody, this is Jaime Jarrin. Like, you know Vince Scully? Okay, well, Vince Scully is the English Jaime Jarrin. You know, because people are like, oh, he's the Spanish Vince Scully. I'm like, no. Get it right. With all due respect in the world for Mr. Scully, because we all love him. But I think that what Jaime has done, not just for me, and he knows this, but he's very humble. At the same time, he's so elegant and so eloquent with his words. He's very humble, but he knows what he means. He knows what he's done, and he knows what he continues to do. He is the Jackie Robinson of Spanish broadcasters. Maybe there was a couple before him, but it's like you get to a place now you have to really make sure that everybody else knows this place is open for you. It's like something like what we're doing here in St. Louis. Some people know that we're here. Now it's my duty, not only as a broadcaster, but as an employee of the Cardinals, to let the Latino fans, not only of the Cardinals, but of baseball, let them know that the Cardinals are doing this. Because this is a great effort, and you guys know this. It's not easy nowadays to convince or to have a channel to do what we do. So I'm just following on the footsteps of somebody who opened the door for so many, who welcomed me with open arms when I showed up at Dodger Stadium, fresh off of being a custodian into this crazy world of baseball. He was always humble. I mean, I have always respected him. And now somebody will say, are you friends? With all the respect to Mr. Harin, I don't consider him my friend because I don't allow myself to think that somebody like Jaime is my friend. He's my mentor. He's been my dad. He's been my grandpa. He's been my friend at times. But at the end of the day, he is who he is. And I respect him so much for what he did, not only for me, but for everybody. Now, on a personal note, I mean, right now, se me están parando los pelos. I mean, even though with the hair that I don't have.
Well, don't lie. You're bald. Don't pretend. I understand.
You know Jesus.
I do.
I mean, when you see Jaime, like you yourself, you turn into a little kid because the difference between, let's say, somebody like Jesus and myself, I didn't grow up listening to Jaime, to Mr. Harin. I grew up listening to Padre games with Mario Thomas, with Eduardo Ortega, with Gustavo Lopez. So, and obviously in Mexico with Fernando, it was Sonia Alarcón, it was El Mago Septién, it was Tomás Morales, Antonio de Valdez. So I grew up listening to those guys. Jaime, I met him through radio and TV when Fernando came on board. So what Jaime did for Fernando, people don't, Fernando Mania is crazy, and a lot of people are here because of Fernando Mania. But Fernando Mania needed somebody like Jaime Mania, Harin Mania, to be what he is. And some people need to understand that what Jaime has done, what Mr. Harin has done, what the Hall of Famer has done, goes beyond baseball. Goes into humanity, into personal relationships, into just being the biggest ambassador baseball has ever had when it comes down to Latinos. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
I agree 100%, and that's why we're so excited to have you today.
Thank you.
One of my childhood heroes. But Polo, thank you for joining us today. We'll hopefully have you on later.
And for sure.
Te mando un abrazo. You know how much I love you, brother.
And you know how much I love you. And like I told this guys, without you telling Eduardo Ortega that one morning.
Hey, we're not talking about me today. We're not talking about me today.
No, we're not
okay,
talking about
Polo.
you. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you.
Polo, thank you very much for your kind words. I love you. I love you. Since the first day I met you, I knew that you were baseball. You had baseball inside of you. So I am so glad to see that you are doing well in St. Louis.
I know you are.
It's fantastic. I was very impressed with the way that you are doing there along with Benji. It is great. You are starting. You remind me when I started in 1959 because it was brand new everything. But great. I am overwhelmed with you about your words. I appreciate. Thank you very much.
Gracias, maestro. Y ahora sí, con todo respeto, Jesús, don Jaime, me despido con un beso.
Adiós.
Las casitas de mi pueblo. Me despido.
Eso, Polo.
Gracias.
Adiós.
Adiós.
Gracias.